Hello, my chat partners. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Dionne. Please subscribe to my channel and to my returning chat partners. I really appreciate you guys' support. So, guys, I just had to go live. I had to go live. And what I want to do is I want to discuss the movie Them. Comment and let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me do a test for self-support. Let me know if you guys can hear me good in the chats. Please let me know. I have a fan blowing because it's a little hot. It's a little humid. And so just let me know if you can hear me okay. Because I'm trying to talk kind of loud. But just let me know if you guys can hear me pretty good or not. Yeah, give me 1 second though. Let me close the window. That way, while I got the fan on and the window blowing. You can hear me good? Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay guys, so I'm back. So guys, this review is about the movie Them. Not the movie, the series Them, season 1. Guys, I just finished the season, and let me just say, first of all, I have been seeing Them up on, and I saw the movie on Prime Video, Amazon Prime or Prime Video. Guys, and I had been seeing it up there, but I was just like, I don't know if I want to watch it because I just didn't know what it was about. I thought it was going to be something like spooky or whatever the case may be. And as I started watching it, and the series is 10 episodes for season 1. Right now, season 2 is on, and we just started the first episode of season 2. But I gotta go back and watch it again, like replay it, because I really need to sit and pay attention. But guys, season 1 of the show Them. Let me just tell you guys, it's been a long time since I actually watched something that got me in my feelings. And I want to say that series got me in my feelings. It got me in my feelings. It really, really did. And I was like, what's really going on here? Like, I just have so many questions, guys. Like, I have so many questions. Because it's really, I just got so many questions. I have so many questions. Okay. The series Them, in a way, it puts me in the mind of American Horror Story. It just does, with that little spooky type concept thing. And just like how each episode is always something bad happening to a particular person. In this case, it was a particular family. Like each episode, it was just something bad happening to the family. And I was like, I know, I told my husband, I said, at the end, it has to be some type of redemption or something. Because it just can't be that this whole series is just this family getting mistreated. It was just too much to it. And I was like, the last episode, it just has to be like a redemption, just something. So guys, the series Them, season 1, it's all about this family. And it's the husband and wife, and they have 2 daughters. And the wife name is, they call her Lucky. The husband name is Henry. And the 2 daughters' names are Ruby and Grace. Ruby is, I think she's like 14, and Gracie, she may be like 5 or 6 or something like that. And guys, it's just, for one, the person that wrote the series Them, I just want to know, like, what was they thinking when they wrote the series? Because it's like dark. It's really, really dark. And to me, what I took from the series was that your mind can be easily manipulated by a lot of bad talk, a lot of just mental, how can I say it, mental abuse type thing, because it'll have you thinking stuff and you'll just start going crazy. And that's what I got from this series. And it's one of those things, like, the person that wrote Them, season 1, I kind of question, like, is this a manipulation for us to dislike someone that's not of the same race as you? Because you have to really, like, when I was watching Them season 1, guys, it had got me in my feelings so much I was starting to get mad. But then it was like I had to laugh a little bit because I was like, these people is crazy. Like just the stuff they say and just the way they was acting. And in a way, I got the message too from them that it be like careful, be careful what you wish for, or don't be ungrateful. Be grateful for what you do have, and stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop trying to be someone else or trying to be something that you're not. Just be grateful for the blessings that you do have, because it could be so much worse. I took that as part of the message for them, season 1. It was just a lot going on, guys. And if you guys have watched them season 1, put it in the comments and let me know so we can talk about it, so we can chat about it. And guys, okay, so basically it's the story about this family, this black family. It was a husband, a wife, and 2 daughters. They lived in North Carolina, and the husband ended up getting an engineering job in California. And they end up moving to Compton, California. Now, the thing that got me, I was like, Compton, California? And when they moved to Compton, California, the sign said Compton, California, and it was a white family on the billboard, like, welcome to Compton. The whole neighborhood was nothing but white people. And the thing that got me was that I was like, that ain't how Compton look. And guys, the neighborhood, it was really, really nice and everything. And the family, the black family, I think there was the Emerys. They was very nice, very respectful, beautiful, loving family. But when they moved to Compton, into that neighborhood, all hell broke loose for them. And it was sad, guys. And it was so many moments in the show that I literally wanted to go through the TV. Like, I really wanted to go through the TV because I was like, this can't be. Like, this can't be. Hey, TikTok lover, thank you for joining in. I was like, this can't be. Just the things that, how the neighbors and the people that was acting that lived in the neighborhood. And it was like those people were so evil and so rude and so mean to that family that it was to the point they couldn't do nothing else. That's all they could do was be mean to them. Even at the man's job, at the husband Henry's job, it was just so dislike of someone that wasn't the same color as his boss and them, just the way they treated him. And he was the one who came up with the Pentagon idea, and then they want to take him off of it, so they wouldn't get him. It was just bad overall, just the way they did them. You should put on some music. Baby, my music, I'm a freak though. Oh, okay, thank you for joining, but make sure you subscribe, Bleakio. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining in and watching the live. I appreciate you. Make sure you give it a like as well. So yeah, guys, it was just a lot going on, and so it's gonna be some spoilers. I'm sorry. It's gonna be some spoilers. So before the family moved to Compton, a tragedy happened because they did have a son named Chester, and he probably was maybe like 4 or 5 months, a little baby. He was old enough to sit in a high chair, and the mom had, the husband and the 2 daughters had left to go off somewhere, and the mom, she was at home with the baby, and she had some peaches, and she cut him up some peaches, so she was feeding him, giving him the peaches and everything. And next thing you know, they had a dog, and the little dog, he went outside. And I was telling my husband, I was like, okay, please don't tell me that she gonna leave the baby in the house to go try to find the dog, and something happened to him while he eating the peaches. That's what I was thinking. And next thing you know, this little lady came up. I can't even think of her name. She come up and she just started talking about the dog and this and that, and then she started talking about the son. Oh, I want your baby, and she started singing this song. So the mom basically, she just told the lady, can you just leave, To make a long story short, next thing you know, three white men came up. And they went in the house. And guys, when I tell you, it was so disturbing what happened in that house to that lady and to, yes, Miss Vera. It was so disturbing to what happened to that lady in that house with her and her baby. It was one of the things I was just like, somebody, just something gotta happen. Like something has to intervene. Something has to happen to help this lady and to help her baby. And the stuff that was happening to this lady while what was going on with her baby, it was like it was nothing she could do, but she was trying. Y'all, when I tell y'all, it got beside me, it got next to me. I've never seen anything like that. You know, it puts me in the mind of, it's one of those, watching them season 1, it was one of those reminders, like when I watched the movie Rosewood, or when I watched this movie called The Last House on the Left, stuff like that. You'd be like, why is it makes you wonder that people, when they write these type of movies, like, is this something that happened that you know factually about, or what made you go that deep and that dark to actually put this out here on the screen for people to watch? And it's disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. It was really, really disturbing. And you know, I felt so bad for the lady, you know, and I'm glad they did go back and talk, you know, and show what happened to their baby, because it was one part in the season. And guys, I'm just gonna be all over the place, and I'm just doing a review of the whole season of them, season 1. I'm just doing a review of the whole season. It was some police officers that came to the house, and they had picked up the little boy picture, and the little girl Gracie said, "Put my brother picture down." And I was like, "Brother?" So then that's when it like showed, you know, what happened. It ended up going back and showing what happened to the mom and to the baby. That was disturbing. Okay. Then it was this little lady that lived across the street. Her name was Betty. Guys, when I tell you Betty got on my nerves, this little lady played this part so good. I was like, do you really, are you really someone that dislike people that's not the same color as you, or you just a good actress? Because when I tell you, this little lady Betty was something, and all she would do all the time was worry about what their family was doing, trying to have meetings, just trying to have stuff, you know, to be done to the family. They end up unaliving the family dog. Just you say you can't watch a show like that because it would be in my feelings. Yeah, let me tell you, it was really in my feelings, because, put it like this, they was doing something to the mother that they should not have been doing. And when they was doing it, the lady had got the little baby, and she was holding him, and then she was like, oh, and she had this little pillowcase, and she was like, we're gonna play cat in the bag. And she put, y'all, it was extremely disturbing just what happened to that lady and her baby. And it all I know is, I just know I was telling my husband, I said, it has to be a revenge on that lady and them 3 men by the end of the series. It cannot be that they just did what they did and did nothing happen to them. It just is. And that's one thing with me, guys. I like a good revenge type show or movie. And I don't like a show when it's just terrible stuff just happening to people the whole time. It just got to be something. You know what I mean? It just has to be something. And I was just hoping, I would say, please, lady, just be a revenge on that lady and them 3 men. And them 3 men was looking like they was from Hills Have Eyes, and she was too. I was just beside myself for that part. But back to Betty. Betty got on my nerves so bad. I was just wanting that woman to just get her one good time. Just one good time. Like, And Betty was married to this man named Liam. And you can tell that he did not want to, you could just tell he really didn't want to bother the family like that. But it was like he was pressured, because everybody in the neighborhood was like, they over there, and they were just calling him out their name. And like when they first moved to the neighborhood, them people like just sit out in the front of their house, just sitting out in front of their house smoking. And it was women that was pregnant smoking cigarettes. I guess that was the big thing, because this took place in like 1953. And they just would sit in front of their house all day, just all day. Then when the daughter went to school, she was the only black girl at the school, and it was just stuff going on with her and how the kids was treating her. And then with the little girl Gracie, and the thing about the show, them guys, every person, the mom, the dad, and the 2 daughters, it was like this spirit following them that they was talking to. And I'm glad that with the series, them, it showed what happened to the spirit that was the evil spirit, which was the devil that was following the mother. I'm glad it showed what happened to him. it didn't show what happened to Vera and the one, the, what's her name, Ruby. It was a girl. It didn't show like what happened to her, and it didn't show what happened to the one that was following the dead Henry. It didn't show what the spirit, what happened to them. But back to Betty. Betty was just doing all kinds of stuff, and so come to find out, Betty wanted to move. And she wasn't a good friend anyway, because she always wanted people to do her dirty work. And there was one lady named Margie. She had ended up getting pregnant, and she wanted to, her and her husband was like, they was going to move out from that area. And she ended up putting sugar in Margie's tank. That was hateful of her to do. And then it also showed like the lady that sold the family the house, like how the banks was doing, like how they have, like for the white people, they loans and stuff was at a low rate, but the black people's was like at 20% higher, and it was just what they was doing so they can get more money from them. It was just a mess, just like how they just did them people, and just how people were back then. And another thing with Betty, her husband, somebody ended up seeing him in a bar, and I was like, what kind of bar did they see him in? But then at the end, you kind of noticed when him and this other dude was having some words back and forth, and he called him out his name. That's when you was like, okay, now I see what kind of bar that he had went to. But let me tell you about Betty. So she kept doing all this stuff to try to, they hung dolls around their house. Like, they just did so much evil stuff. They like burnt some words in their yard, and it was just horrible, and it was just bad how they did those people. And I'm like, those people wasn't even bothering them. It wasn't doing anything, So Betty, she wanted to leave. She wanted to move. So what she did, she went to her parents' house, and she had some rich parents, like rich. And so when she went in there, they hadn't seen her in like 6 or 7 years or something like that. So when she went in there, she was talking to her dad. He was like happy to see her, excited, this and that, things of that nature. But the mama, she wasn't that happy. She was like, what you doing here? Like, why you here? One of those type things. And so she was telling her daddy that she needed some money so she could move. So the daddy was like, okay. So when he started getting ready to write the check, the mama was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, and she got up and left. And so when he started writing the check, he stopped and he said, you know what, you can spend the night and I can write the check later. Stay for dinner. Go take a bath and wash the day off or your travel off. And she's sitting there looking, and come to find out, put 2 and 2, that daddy was messing with Betty type thing. And so he up in the bathroom getting the bath together and everything. She was sitting on the bed. She took her shoes off, but then she thought about it and she ran out of the house. I was like, okay. And also, Betty and her husband, they couldn't bear children. I don't know if it was from him or her. I don't know what it was. But so that was the deal with her and her family. And I was like, there was some mess. And I was like, the mama knew, and it was just wild. It was just wild. What else was it? One of the neighbors' little boy, he out there using the bathroom on the sheets, and so the lady Lucky, she was like telling him, stop, this and this and that. He gonna pick up a stick and act like he was gonna hit her with it. She took it from him and she started chasing him down the road. Then when we talk, I said, what are you doing chasing my son? And they was trying to make it seem like it was more than what it was and all this kind of stuff. So then what happened was Betty kept going to the milkman. She kept going to him, telling him, I'm telling my husband to do this and this and that. He's not doing these things. I need you to help me. All I know, he ended up doing something to Betty. And it was like this big, huge farm with a lot of land. And he had her down in this hole with a top to it that he had a lock on it. So he would have to unlock it. And he had it set up like the wallpaper that she had in her house. He had it set up like a little house up under there. It had a kitchen. It had a bed. He had all these nice little dresses and stuff hung up for her. He had so many pallets of like food, canned food for her, because that's where they was gonna be. And he told her, he was like, I'm sorry I tied your hands and did all this and this and that. And she's sitting there, and the whole time the other neighbors thought that the man Henry's wife, they thought that they was the ones who actually had Betty, but they didn't. Them people knew that they didn't have Betty. And so Betty ass was down there in that hole. I was so glad. I said, see, that's what she get nasty. It was one of them things. I was like, that's what she get. She's so busy hating this family that moved across the street from her, but let it alone, the person that she went to go get help that was acting like he was nice to her was the one that had her held hostage down in that hole. I was like, that's what she get. And it was one of those things. I was like, now I bet she wishing that, oh, it ain't so bad living across the street from the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stuck down here by yourself. You can only come, you can't even come out. This man got to unlock it and come down and talk to you, because don't nobody know where you at. And to be honest, they really weren't looking for it, to tell you the truth. They too busy still trying to get this family out. Still too busy trying to get this family out this neighborhood. And it was one part that was really, really sad, guys, because it was one of those things that, it was one part that the family was getting ready to actually leave. They was getting ready to leave because the dad, they had did him dirty at work. So he had went to the boss house. I was like, I hope he get the boss. But of course the boss wasn't, like, just at least scare him. He wasn't home, but the wife was. But he didn't do anything to her. I don't like how they just showed that he left out the house. I was like, did he do anything? But he didn't do anything to the wife. Okay, so he left out the house. And then it was one of those things where he went, it was a police officer that was kind of nice to the family. However, he really wasn't. He was just doing it because he was getting paid from the lady that actually sold them the house, that was selling the people the houses in the neighborhood. And he pulled the man over. He pulled the man Henry over, and Henry ended up unaliving him. It was just the wrong time, sir, for you to come bother this man, because he was fed up. Okay, he went to the house to get his family. They had packed some stuff. He was like, let's go, guys. So he told the wife and the daughters, them, y'all go to the car. He was getting the luggage. So he was getting the 2 suitcases, but then there was a box on the a wooden box on the floor that had CE, and CE was their little boy's initial, because his name was Chester Emery. I think it's Emery or something like that. And so he ended up, and this whole time, the 2 men that was across the street, Betty's husband, because like I said, she was missing. They couldn't find her. They was across the street fussing, talking about how they gonna do this and this and this to the family. The man come out there with a weapon, and he pointing at them. And so the daddy here in the house, and he get this, get the box, and he look at it, and he opens it. And when he opens it, I told my husband, I said, you know what? I said, that baby gonna be in there. But I knew it. I knew it. And he came outside. And he had the little blanket, and it was a little baby, remains or whatever, in the little thing. And he was crying. He was like, my baby boy, my baby. And she was like, I just couldn't leave him. She couldn't. I told my husband, I said, because my husband was like, it's sad that, they moving, but it's one of them things where I said, well, it's probably good, because after that incident happened, that was right when he got the call for the new job. I was like, so that's probably good for them to get away from that area, somewhere far. And she was like, I just couldn't leave. And I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she take that baby with her, because after the incident happened, she would go outside with the pillowcase that had the stains remain from what those people did to him. And she would walk around. She'd be digging in the ground. Like, she'll be up all night, just sleeping outside in the barn, just mourning. She was devastated. She was mourning, and the little girls would look out the window and be like, I don't want to be like mommy. I don't want to be like her. That's what they kept saying. I don't want to be like her. But the kids didn't know any better, because at the end of the day, they really didn't know what happened to the mother and the little brother. And plus, they was too young. They didn't want to, like, scar them like that. And she was like, she just can't leave them. She said she couldn't leave her baby. And so the man with the weapon, he outside looking all silly and just. So then the mother, she ended up being in a, I think it was a psychiatric hospital type setting. And now, mind you guys, when they moved to Compton, they had family. Well, the husband had family that lived in like Watts and other areas in California. And the wife, she would go visit them. And one of the cousins, they was talking, and she was asking her about the little boy. They didn't know what happened, but they ended up finding out later on what happened. And they had found, I was telling my husband, I was like, please let the family, excuse me, I told him I would just have a big cookout. Everybody, come on, let's go, let's go. Everybody have a big cookout. We finna have a cookout. We finna act a fool out here, because I'm gonna give y'all a reason to stay out y'all windows and sit on my front porch and do the things that they was doing. So that happened. So the wife, Lucky, she ended up going to a psychiatric hospital. And this lady, she won't listen to her. She shooting her up with all kind of stuff. And then there was some other things that happened too. Because basically the house that they moved into, it was another black family that had lived there too. And some bad stuff happened and they ended up moving out. And the wife, she ended up, it was like two other families, they ended up being, the mothers ended up being in a psychiatric hospital because of the things they did to their family. And like I said before, guys, in the beginning of this video, and if you are just joining in on this live, guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe, please. And I'm talking about the series Them Season 1. One thing was that all those women had the same thing in common. It was one of those things where you keep hearing bad all the time, just negative, it's going to drive you crazy. And it's going to make you think you're crazy. Like when you listening to it, you just listen, oh, you should do this, I can't believe this. That's all they was doing. So those people start believing that stuff. And Lucky, she had this old pastor man from way back in the day, that was like haunting her. And it told the story about what happened to him. Something happened to his wife and his son, and he found this little boy, and he had went to this area, and it was this couple, it was a black couple, and the wife was pregnant, and they was on a little wagon, and they wheel messed up. And so when they wheel messed up, they was staying there. So of course everybody around there like, why they here? And just being mean. And the preacher was like, well, you know, God loves everybody. We supposed to love each other, this and that. And to make a long story short, they just kept being mean, negative. And for some reason, they had this well. And I was telling my husband, I wonder if that well was actually that well that man had Betty in. But then I thought about it at the end, too. When they showed the neighborhood and what happened to the area where that pastor was, where all that stuff burned down, I was like, I wonder if that's where that location of those houses was built on, in that neighborhood of Compton. And the black man, he went down in the well, he found water. And they was like, what? How he find it? And then this one lady, she sitting up there talking about, oh, he's the devil. He's this and this and that. That's how it's cursed. And it was just so much stuff. And it was just the way where they would show these people. And I told my husband, I said, why they got everybody that was in that episode, the men kind of look like Abraham Lincoln. Just how they look with the beard, the hair, and just they structure. I was like, why they looking like Abraham Lincoln? I didn't get that part. And it was just the way those people was laughing and stuff, and just how they did that little family, that man and his wife, and they blinded them, and it was just sad. It was, but you know what, it was sad. However, I was telling my husband, all those people that was up in there witnessing that, and then what they end up doing to that man and his wife after they blinded both of them, and she would pray. She was up in there in labor. And they up in there, I was like, this is too dark. It's too much. It's a little too deep. It's a little too, it's a little too cruel. Because it's like, as a human being, how can you be that way? I don't understand it. I just, that's evil. That's evil for real. That's really, really evil. And how they did that, what they did to that man and his wife. And y'all sitting up there smiling. They was looking at it like, oh my God, man. You know, and next thing you know, all the stuff started falling on them, and they started, I said, get them out. Olon was up in there. I said, yes, because that's what y'all get. Y'all doing that to them, and look what happened to y'all. And so it showed, you know, it talked about that pastor and stuff, and then it was one of the things, it was another part when the mom, when she was in a psychiatric hospital area, and the dad, he was at home with his two little girls, and the men came over there again, trying to start some mess. And the stuff that they did to that man in front of his kids, it was horrible. It was horrible. However, Ruby came in and saved the day, and she did what she had to do to help her daddy. But the thing about that, when that episode came on and went off, I was like, well, what happened to Ruby? Then they showed the episode with the one the spirit that was following the mama, and then after that was the last episode, so it showed her coming in her father. This and it sounds like we're good. Okay, I'm glad that. No, that was at the end of the one what showed what happened with that spirit. So I was like, I'm glad that he got the help. And then at the end, it showed that those two people, when the family was getting ready to leave, it showed those people was turning against each other at the end. But the thing that got me, I was just hoping that with the show them, I was just hoping it would be a little bit more, just a little bit more, like something that happened like with the neighborhood, like what happened, because it just showed the families just standing out on the front porch and it went off. And I just wish it could have been like more to it than that. But Betty, so go back to Betty, because Betty is a key person in here. She really is. She's a key person. Because I feel like even though everyone else in that neighborhood felt the way they did, I don't think it was, I think she enhanced it. She made it worse than what it was, with her just running her mouth and just being so negative and mean, and just the way she acts. She couldn't do nothing else but focus on that family. So the guy that had Betty, I think his name was George or something, I can't think of his name. The guy that had Betty down in that well or whatever it was, that little bunker he had built underground for her. He came up down there with some chicken and stuff he now cooked. That chicken looked raw. And I was like, why it look like that? Anyway. And he had some wine. And while he had the wine, he had this little cork thing or whatever. So she gonna try to act like she wanna hug him and stuff, or whatever the case may be. And she gonna get the cork and stick him with it. And he was sitting there. I was like, oh. I said, please don't tell me that, this is how she gonna get away. And I was telling my husband, and he had said something to Betty, and he climbed up on the thing. I said, I hope he climbed up there and lock it. That's what I was thinking. But he climbed up there, and I was like, whatever happened to him? So they ended up showing Betty, I don't know how much time had went by, but they ended up showing her. She had this pink dress. She was just sitting on the bed, and she was sitting there. And I guess she thought about, let me just see if I can climb up and just see if it's unhatched. Because she thought maybe by her sticking him with that thing in his neck that, oh, I'm good, And she climbed up there and she pushed that thing up and then opened. She was like, ah, ah. She climbed on out and she saw, like, it was this big farm, y'all. It was beautiful. It was like all this pretty land. It was just nice out there. It was really, really nice. And she went to running in that pink dress. And as she was running, she was just smiling, running. And next thing you know, she won't run no more. She won't run no more. I said, see, now if she had to stay at the house, stop trying to go to folks to get people to help, to hurt these people and get these people out of the neighborhood, she would have been fine at home chilling. But she was so gung-ho, wanting to get rid of them, and then she had to end up being in this hole away from everybody. And then when she got away, that's what happened, and people weren't even bothering her. So she was really, they go to show you really worry about the wrong thing. You worry about the wrong people. She was worried about the wrong people. So I was telling my husband too, I was like, by that show, and guys, if you just joining in, I'm doing a review on Them season 1. I was telling my husband, I was like, everybody played their part perfectly. Like the wife, Lucky, the husband, Henry, he did excellent. Like, because he had been in the military, and just when stuff would happen, he would be enraged, but he would hold it in, and that man played their part. The girls, the little kids, I told him, I said, the little girl Gracie, she can have a mean mug face. She was just accused she can have a mean mug face. And the little girl Ruby, she played her part because she was thinking that she was friends with this girl named Doris, but it was just a spirit. It wasn't anybody, and she didn't want to be herself. And that was her lesson to her. They was like, okay, you keep saying you don't want to be like your mama, but she want to have blue eyes. She want to be on the chilling and squad, and she ended up putting all this white paint and stuff on her, and it was like, you be happy with, ain't nothing, it's nothing really was wrong with your mom. It was just something tragic happened to her, and she just, that anybody would lose it. It wasn't that she wasn't a good mother. She was very protective and loving of her family, but I think it was one of those things they might have thought it was her fault what happened to their little brother, because they didn't know the whole story. So that was hers. And with Gracie, it was more so, Miss Vera was messing with her, and some stuff happened to her at the school when they talking about you disrupting the class. No, she wasn't. It was just she saw that spirit outside, you know, looking at her when she was trying to say, I think it was the Pledge of Allegiance or something like that. And then with the husband, his was this man with this face, with this dark makeup and stuff, and he was just telling him all this stuff to do, but he ended up getting rid of that spirit. But it made a point to him as well. It was like you were so ready to leave the house that day. You were so ready to be on time to go watch this movie. And he was like, but you're not in a rush to be on time when it comes to your wife. You're not in a rush to be on time when it comes to your baby. You was just so in a rush to do something that you wanted to do, which was go watch that movie. And so by you wanting to be making sure that you was on time on this particular day, you left a whole hour early. And when you left that hour early, them people that came in the house that hurt the wife and did what they did to the baby, they was watching him. And he was like, if you hadn't been in a rush and wanted to like go do that, everything like stuff would, and that was what was playing in his mind, and basically it had him in the movie theater, and it was like him and his little girls was watching it when he saw everything that actually happened to his wife and what happened to their baby. And it was one of those things too where I was telling my husband what I felt like should have happened. So when the lady did what she did, and they was playing cat in the bag, her and those men was playing cat in the bag with the baby. And so when the little girl Gracie was up there saying the Pledge of Allegiance, then she saw that spirit outside, she started saying cat in the bag, cat in the bag. She kept saying and screaming, and little kids, because at first, you know, they want to laugh because they think stuff funny, but then they start getting scared. And so when the teacher was talking to the mother, she was like, I don't think she belonged here. But that little girl was smart, wasn't anything wrong with her. She was very intelligent. And so she said, does cat in the bag mean anything to you? And she looked at her. I was like, she should have told her, yeah, let me tell you exactly what it means to me. I was at home with my son, and these three men and this lady came, and these two men did such and such to me. And when they was doing that to me, the woman did this, and then those men and that lady did this to my son. That's what she got. That's what that means. I said something to make her feel cheap. You know what I mean? So with that, I was telling my husband, I wonder, like the kids that played in the movie, the little girl that played Ruby and the little girl that played Gracie, how did their parents feel as far as them when they was studying the script to watch the movie? It's one of those things where all that bad stuff that was being said during that movie, because those girls are kind of young, and then if those kids went back and watched the series, does it plant any type of what you call it, negativity in their mind and in their mental about by being in the show Them season 1? You know what I mean? Like, is it like dark for them? Is it like one of those things where people really act like that and treat people that way? I just wonder how the people that played in that movie, how they acted. And I also wonder, not just with the children, I also wonder with the other actors and actresses that played in the movie, the part that they played, was it hard for them to play that part? To be evil that way? Was it hard for them to say the things that they said? Was it hard for them to, how can you laugh and it looks so real, like this was really going on? How was it hard for you guys to do that, you know? Did it bother you? Did you stay in character? Did you get out of character? You know what I mean? Was it hard for you to get out of character? Was it hard for you to stay in character? So yeah, guys, I just want to say, if you haven't watched season 1 of Them, check it out. But I'm going to tell you to be cautious because it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. It's very dark. However, you can have your own thoughts about it, your own perspective about it, your own, like, what did you learn from it? What did you wish was different? What do you wish was, better? I just feel like I wanted it to be more of the people that lived in the neighborhood, just why did they? I can kind of. I'm not gonna even say I can see why Betty acted the way she acted, because I just don't understand why she did. Why she acted the way she acted. I was telling my husband the way her husband acted. I was like, I wonder if, like, when they were saying you was at that bar, I was like, okay, is he at the bar with black people? Or I was wondering, like, did he have, was he like a mixed race? I was just wondering certain things, when it came to him. Like I said, they said it, or when the guy called him out his name, and I was like, oh, that's the type of bar he was in. Let's see what else. So yeah, guys, that's my review on season 1 of the show Them. It was very interesting. It was very good. The acting was splendid. Everybody that played in it show, everybody, even the extras that was around there smiling and looking mean, and when they come outside, kids standing out there, everybody played their part to a T. So that was great. And like I said, it kind of put me in the mind of like the American horror shows, like it's, with the dark and some stuff. You like, that don't make no sense. And then this is kind of awkward. And what does that mean? This is kind of confusing. And like I said, I did like that they went back and talked about the pastor, what happened to him. I just wish they had it. I'm glad they showed what happened to Betty. What you can kind of get an idea of like what type of person she was and how her family was. Her rich family was. So yeah, guys, that's my review on Them season 1. I also watched, like I was telling you guys the other day, I did a partial review on the movie Don't Look Back. I will be doing a full review on that show on that movie either tomorrow or Wednesday. More than likely it'll be Wednesday. I'll do a full review on that movie. It's a Tubi movie and it's called Don't Look Back. And I also do a full review on the movie Mother May I. That's a Tubi movie as well. One thing I can say, those 2 movies was written by the same person. And I was like, I don't know if I'm watching another one of this person, another one of their movies, because I don't like the end. I don't like movies that end a certain way. And those 2 movies, the way they ended, I did not like it. So it's like, I don't like a movie where it just kind of drags a little bit, because y'all getting to the point, the last 3 minutes of the movie, and then bam, it just ends. It's like, what is it going to be, a part 2? Is it going to be a follow-up? Like, well, you couldn't put no words up there and say this what happened. I don't like stuff like that. When all this could have happened in the middle, the ending could have been in the middle, and then show me the conclusion, or show me the ending of it, wrap it all up together, tie it all together for me, and let me know, okay, this is what happened to this person, this is what happened to this person, something, not just bam, this happened, oh, they found this out, boom, and this, oh, what? I don't like movies like that. But however, I'm still going to do a review on the 2 Tubi movies, Mother May I and Don't Look Back. I am going to do a review, probably more than likely be Wednesday. It might be tomorrow, but more than likely it'll be Wednesday. So yeah, I'm going to do a review on those 2 movies. And then once I finish watching Them to season 2, I'll more than likely do a review on that as well. And it's something else. I also want to watch the reindeer. What is that movie? Pretty Reindeer, Little Reindeer, something my daughter was telling me about that's on Netflix. That's a series as well. I'll probably watch that. But then I'm going to do some reviews of some old movies as well too. Some older movies that everybody that's seen back in the day. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoy this live of me doing my review on Them season 1. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, Dionne's Life, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can receive alerts each and every time I upload, and become a chat partner. I'm wishing you all out there peace of mind, because what? A peace of mind is one of the greatest things in the world. Always remember that you guys are great. And as always, take care, stay safe, and be blessed. Bye, guys.